Let's think. Let's think. Let's think. Let's have some coffee. It helps the thinking. I think that there's probably a better way to do this. But I don't know. When I was doing the Sully's Guitar Garage videos, I felt after a certain point that I had to follow a schedule and I had to do all these things. Like it came with all of this other stuff. And this, I mean, obviously there's no preparation whatsoever. Most of the times I have zero idea of what I'm going to talk about, and I know it shows, and it's fine. Oh, young David's in Houston. Hello, David. But yeah, like, at least we kind of have a nice little backdrop. There's no, for no production value, at least it comes across okay. I might, maybe, and I try not to do this, but I might go into the shop at some point just to glue this particular neck into the body so we can move it along Monday. We'll see. I try to like not be there when I'm not there, if that makes sense. It makes sense. You know what I'm talking about. But sometimes I wonder, do I need to be there a little bit more? Valid question. One that I don't necessarily have the answer to. Sure, more is more, but at what cost? Because I know there have been times when I would be there 6 to 7 days a week, and it becomes a lot. So, cool story. Joey, how are you doing? How's your day going thus far? All right, so things we're working on this week. Finished a few guitars, which is good. I was going through the software that I use to manage builds and stuff, and checking some things off because there are a couple that are finished. So now we'll be on track. My goal this year, well, I don't know that they're not fully formed, but I know that to get to a certain number at the end of the year, divide that by 12 and blah, 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 blah. So I'm looking at what we finished so far. We're at what we finished so far and what we will finish by the end of this month. We're on a pretty good pace. We've got another guitar coming back from paint, which is it's trello related, but it is I think I've talked about it. I don't remember, so I'm not going to further, because if I haven't, this could be viewed as certainly not a new model, because it's not. It is a variation. It is a variation that up to this point hasn't existed, but when I first designed the model in 2009, it was a thought. Yeah, that's where I'll leave it. And so apparently that thing should arrive Tuesday or Wednesday, so that's cool. I like that. One of the things that I've been focusing on this week is I've been working with TKL cases to design a hybrid case that multiple models will fit in. Guten Morgen from Australia. Good morning, mate. Yeah, hello. Hello to you. Gary, I thought of you the other day because Caitlin Deaver, one of a dear family friend, I taught her how to play guitar when she was just a little wee kid. She posted a picture from one of her lessons, and it was me. She was holding this Les Paul I had at the time, which is a '73 Black Custom. And you'd think for a guy trying to like Les Pauls, that would be like, I was so excited to get that guitar. It had big jumbo frets on it. It was a screaming deal. I got it for like $1,200, and I think I had it for like, if I had it for like 4 months, I'd be surprised. I sold it, but anyway, there's a picture. She's holding this guitar, which is just massive on her, and she's like, but in the background are some of my guitars that were hanging on the wall, and Slimer, the guitar that you own, was in there. So that's cool. That's what made me think of you. So good times. So I've been talking with TKL about cases. Still working with G&G for cases, especially for the models that they've already made cases for, Concords, Trellas. I don't see a need to go from one to, we can have cases from multiple places. And with G&G, I can have smaller batches of cases compared to TKL. If we've got to have something made, I've got to get like 2 dozen. Now, if we're having a universal, it's a universal case for like certain models. So like Stardusts will fit, 71s will fit, 624, 625s will fit. So it's nothing, it's not like it's going to be like one massive, huge ass case. And then, yeah. So we've been working on that and kicking around some options. So I'm excited about that. I think that'll be cool. I'm still not like 100% sold on everything needing hard cases, especially with gig bags being better than they've ever been. And in some cases, I see what I did. Some of the gig bags are nicer, but this is a thing. There's no answer. It's I'm just gonna have to maybe draw a line in the sand, but whatever. What happens when you draw a line in the sand? The tide comes in and washes it away. Yeah, so I'm pleased at how that's coming along. Also, it's looking good that it's things are progressing in a manner that looks like we might be able to get some stuff in Europe and UK. Um, I had a nice meeting this week about that, and I'm very happy about that. More on that later. Um, let's see. I did get that cabinet re-Tolexed. I always think that people that can Tolex amps and stuff like that, they must make like the best Christmas present wrapping. That's my cool thought. So I got that done. Came out okay. There's a couple of spots where I'm like, ah! But like, I couldn't really do anything about it unless I wanted to just tear it all off and start all over again. Guess what I did not want to do? Exactly. But considering that cabinet, this little 112 cabinet that I had, it was in, if you don't know what I'm talking about, it was in, I guess, last week's live stream. But although if you're watching on YouTube, it wasn't on YouTube because I had to do it on my phone, and I don't have something on my phone that allows me to stream to Facebook and to YouTube. So I got that done, and wouldn't you know it, we now have a red head that matches it. If you saw it in the Facebook live stream that we did from the shop yesterday. But so I think, all in all, I think I did okay on the reupholstery job, and I probably could have used a little more adhesive in certain spots. And once I got to the point where I had to redo the grill cloth, it's not that I was kind of ready to be done for the day, but I was kind of ready to be done for the day. And I could have done a better job of pulling the cloth tighter underneath the frame that it's going on. But it's fine. It looks fine. It looks fine. So especially considering like that thing was disgusting and it had like all sorts of paint overspray and stuff like that all over it. And it had sat in the attic for 18 years. And I know that because we moved into our house 18 years ago this weekend, which blows my mind. So it had been sitting there for 18 years, and like, I could have just thrown it away, which would have been dumb. Cause it's got like a decent Celestion speaker in it. So like, I guess I'm out of it. So we have a really nice shop amp. So that's good. Joshua Henry says, I always liked Les Paul Customs with fretless Wonder frets. I am a weirdo. Well, you might be a weirdo, but it might not be for that reason. I'm not going to judge. I know Catfish is watching this and said, you're not going to judge? You judgy bitch. You're not going to judge? That is personal growth. Hooray for me. I speaking on that though, and Catfish, he has a 71 Les Paul Custom that he was nice enough to let me use when I was doing the Kiss Tribute Band thing. And so that was in 2001 into 2002. And it was all original. So 71 to 2001. So that's 180 years. Still had the original frets, and those frets were really, really, really low. And we, years later, we refretted that thing with stainless steel frets, which I'm sure would make somebody really angry. But, catfish, how's that thing playing these days? It's been a minute. But yeah, that had fretless wonder. It had really, really, really low frets on it. I think I liked playing that guitar at the time. Before I kind of figured out the whole short scale thing. Always good to have multiple supplies. See, that's the thing. That's the thing. That is the thing. You got to have a plan B, and if you can have a plan C in your back pocket, it's the way to go. There's Catfish. Good morning. There's Brian. Good morning, all. Everybody say hi to. Good morning to Brian. Custom cabinets with the puffiness are always fun. I don't think that's true. Brian is an industrious little dude. I don't even know if that's the word I'm looking for, but have you done one of those before? I can imagine you have. And I don't know if Chris is on here, but like Chris has done some of that. Like Chris and his wife, they redo vans and stuff. I believe I know that he redid some interior with like that blue sparkle vinyl, like on those custom amps in the 70s. So I imagine he's probably got a hand in that too. How much do you think they'll give me for my head? So Catfish, as I like to call him, we've known each other since like 7th grade, 8th grade, 7th grade, 8th grade, I think 8th grade. And when I was about 16, maybe probably 17, I had a Carvin 100-watt head, and I don't think I'm like, did I have a cabinet for it? Like my equipment as a teenage Sully was a mishmash of things and borrowed stuff, and I didn't have a job really very often, and so it's kind of I always had a guitar. That's all I really cared about. The rest would kind of work itself out. I would have borrowed amps or whatever. So yeah, sorry, I was that guy. And so at the time in the band that I was in, I think I was like looking to, maybe I had quit that band and I was going to just focus on being a singer. Because at the time, everybody's a guitar player, but it was really hard to find a singer. And, I could sing it and enough to front a rock band. And so I realized, I decided I needed a microphone. And I remember we were driving around Lombard, Villa Park, whatever. And yeah, I may be completely remembering the story wrong, but we were driving past or near Perry's Music on St. Charles Road in Villa Park. And I remember saying to him, how much do you think they'll give me for my head? So if I traded the carbon head. So I traded that carbon head for a microphone. It's kind of like in the Blues Brothers, when he traded the Bluesmobile for this. No, he traded it for a microphone. I could see that. So yeah, that little quote has been something that we've revisited over the years. And it's, how much do you think they'll give me for my head? I do. That's where we keep all the bodies in cabinets. Been a minute since I played it, honestly. It's good though. Well, good. Good morning to Brian. See? Good afternoon. See, now Anders, he's in the future. So, and Gary is also in the future. So we've got a lot of different countries represented today. I like that. Cut the difference and say 7th grade. Tim, good morning to you. It was Villa Park. Yes, that's where Perry's is. Johnny, top of the morning to you, sir. How are you doing? How's everything with you? Brian, lol, Dave, howdy. George, good morning from Pittsburgh. Good morning to Pittsburgh. Yeah, so that's the how much you think they'll give me for my head. Hey, we've got Canada checking in. So we've got Australia. We've got Sweden. We've got Canada. We've got Florida. Hey, Noodles. Hello from the country of New Mexico. New Mexico. You know what I like about we all know. It's the land of enchantment. And my hair always looks fantastic in New Mexico. Or like, hey, you're in Arizona. You're in the future. See, look at this. What an exciting time to be alive. So right now I'm in the future. It's perspective, isn't it? You know, grass is always greener. These guys, they're in the future. They know what's coming. I don't know what's coming. Why can't I be more like them in the future? Yet here I am. Somebody else's future. Living in someone else's future. I guess it was inside me all along. Hey, hey, from PA. Hey, hey, to PA. Annie, how are you? Congratulations on your movie being included in the festival. I think that's super rad. Super, super rad. Hello from New Jersey, home of the Sopranos. Everybody in New Jersey sings at in a very high register. All Sopranos. Well, if that's true, we're in trouble. So, so we finished up some guitars, and once some cases show up, we can ship one of them. The other is ready to go. That's good. Waiting on some hardware to come back from the plater so we can move a few more guitars along. So that's good. Actual question, have I ever done a semi-hollow? Sort of. So Stardust Deluxes could be considered a semi-hollow, I guess, in that there is a chamber. It's not particularly large, but it is there. Although there was a guitar that I made for a wonderful client and friend, Pat. It was a 71 that had the like Art Deco style inlay in the fretboard from Larry Robinson, who is a renowned inlay artist. That body was really chambered out. So like technically that's a semi-hollow, but like something like a 335 style, something like that. Is that considered a semi-hollow? I don't know, but like something like that, no. And I haven't, and probably don't really have any interest in doing that sort of thing, just because it's, I guess for the same reason I don't want to make a banjo. It's just so far from what I do and am interested in that I probably wouldn't do that. But big chambery stuff with some, tone ports, sound holes, what have you. Yeah, we've done some of that. Yes. Yeah. Oh, woods. Let's talk about that. Oh God, I forgot the name of it. Cool. Just curious. Gosh, what was the name of that stuff? Guanacaste. I don't know if I should be pronouncing the A, but it is. This year, I've noticed that it hasn't been super conscious, but we've been kind of considering some alternate timbers. Specifically, you've heard me talk about obsidian ebony. This is, this has cutter marks and stuff like that on it, but like, it looks certainly in the ebony, color zone. And this is roasted maple that is impregnated it's just impregnated uh, with various resins and what have you, space age polymers that kind of give it this look. And this is all the way through, so it's not something that's going to sand off, which is nice. And the thing, we still use ebony. I still have some, but I am more. I'm happy to move away from it. Because it's hard to get, and the stuff that is readily available isn't necessarily as not my favorite. There are some quirks with some of the ebony that we've been getting lately, that's always been a thing, and it's not it's not a flaw. It's not anything wrong. It's just how it's some trees, man. They're just peculiar, and this is just how they are. So we've been looking at obsidian, ebony. Was using the royal blackwood when no one else would. Royal blackwood. Using that, we've made a few guitars with that stuff, and I don't mind it. It's essentially, and there's more to it than this, but it starts with purple heart, and that's roasted, and it's darkened, and it stays black. And there's probably, again, some like space age polymers that are impregnated into it. But that source was LMI, Luthier's Mercantile, and they've since closed after, I don't know, 50 years or something like that. So I don't know of another source for that stuff, which is fine, because maybe this obsidian ebony will be just as nice. A semi hollow with an F hole would be rad as hell. So I wish I can I share a link in here? I don't know. I will send. I'll message you a link to the blog. Wait, can I? I don't think I can. Certainly not with his attitude. But I did a blog post about that guitar, and it's got what I call a WTF hole, because it's not an F hole, but I didn't really know what else to call it. Yeah, so there was a design that I was going to use that was kind of reminded me of. It was like going like this. Why don't I just use a Sharpie? That would probably look better if I had a Sharpie. But I'm just going to give you a little look-see here real quick. Just a little sketcheroony of a pattern that I had. We're going to do like this. And to me, and it's not the same, but just like this and then this part reminded me of the American Bandstand A. So this would be like an A-hole. I was going to do this, and for whatever reason, I didn't go with this shape. I kind of just connected it, I think. Kind of connected. Yeah, I think it's not quite like that. But it's something more similar to that, sort of, but it does exist. I haven't, we've done them on a couple of Stardust Deluxes, maybe two, I think three. And then that 71. And there's a couple pieces of that process, or there's really one piece of that process I would like to kind of get a little bit more sorted. But yeah, we do them. And I will send you a link to that. I did a blog post on that build a couple years ago. Maybe not a couple years ago, a year ago. I don't know. A while back. We just got some samples of it. Yep. Dude, I imagine it's going to machine just like maple. I mean, it's probably going to machine better than ebony. Not that it machines poorly. It's just, not quite as hard. Chris, good morning. We mentioned you earlier. We were talking about reupholstering, and I mentioned how you do that with Vans, and you did like the custom amp style. Is that tuck and roll? upholstery, right? Because we were talking about when I retolexed the cabinet last week, and Brian had mentioned that doing those custom cabs would probably not be fun. Obsidian stuff looks great. See? Yeah, I do have. I've got some stuff on order. Um, the This company's Thermalwood in Canada, and they supply a whole bunch of major manufacturers. And that's who I spoke with at NAM and was going to order some stuff. And then it was like, hey, I see that you're a customer of one of our clients. So, like, you got to order from them. And I'm like, who are those? Who's that now? And I bought tops from them in 2016. So, anyway, so I do have them as a source for this stuff, and so I've got like some neck blanks on order with them as well as this stuff. And as soon as they get the rest of the neck blanks, they can send all the stuff to me. So I'm looking forward to it. But one of the things we're also, so we've got fretboard that we're kind of talking about, but also some different body woods that we're going to try out here. And I just got a shipment of blanks of a wood called Guanacaste, Guanacaste. It is from Central America, and I believe Costa Rica is a big source of it. It's also known as Parota, Parota, and it looks like it's got like the pore. It looks like it has like pores like mahogany, and it almost has like some walnutish coloring, like reds, oranges, browns. But it's also very chatoyant, which is fun to say, which means, you get some clear coat on it and the stuff lights up and moves around, and lots of nice things to look at. There's a real explanation for that and whatever. And a lot of the descriptors I've seen of it is that it looks like koa. And that's nice. So we got some blanks in the other day. We were looking at it yesterday, and they're all really lightweight. David, if you're still watching, weren't most of those blanks around like 8 pounds for a blank? So that's like 14 by 20 by 2. And then we just cut off the parts that don't look like a guitar body. So that's really light. I understand there's light. Oh, well, you should try this sweater. The blanks are 5 pounds. Like, okay, great, but that's pretty light. And I'm thinking, so I'm excited about using these bodies, these blanks, because quite frankly, they are quite striking looking. And I thought maybe like color-wise, they'd be a little bit closer to mahogany than they seem to be, but that's all right. But I was thinking that if this stuff machines as well as I think it's going to, and if it's as nice as what I've read, maybe we can kind of move to that instead of sourcing the various mahoganies. And it's not that there's anything wrong with the various mahoganies, but let's be real. This stuff's hard to get. Oh, it's not hard to get. It's becoming more and more, like African mahogany kaya that's on a CITES list. And, you can still get it. But like, there's other stuff, right? And also, the majority of what I do, these things, damn it, these things are, often plugged into things like that on a big angry gain channel. And it's not to say that I'm not going to get into the whole, does tone wood really matter? Everything matters. But does it matter to you? I'm thinking of these sorts of things. And, there are some other things that are like swamp ash adjacent that I've got my eye on that I'm interested in trying out. I don't know, swamp ash is fine, but you are absolutely rolling the dice, I think, as far as I'm considering. As far as I'm concerned, because ash is, and especially ash is. There's an insect, the emerald borer beetle. It's like the rural juror, and that stuff just eats through the wood. And you could have lovely swamp ash blanks that are nice and clean and super light and beautiful grain and blah blah blah, and you make the thing and the guitar is done, and then all of a sudden, maybe 6-8 months or sooner, you might get a phone call where it's like, hey, I've got holes in my guitar. I'm sure there's preventative measures to mitigate that, but I don't know that I have like, what am I gonna put it in an oven? Am I going to freeze the blanks? I'm like, and then not even know. And you can't, like, you just don't know what's in there. So it hasn't happened to me personally yet, but I can think of 3 people right now that it's happened to, and they're all in different parts of the world. So it's not just one batch. So let's maybe, I do have some swamp ash blanks that I've had sitting for a year and a half. And we'll see if, we'll probably use them for something. But, I'm leery of using more of it. So I'm looking for some options for that. And I think I found some. I just haven't gotten around to trying it because, I got a lot of things to do. So, yeah, I'm interested in if I can get neck blanks of the stuff, which I have found. I have seen some potential sources of that, but I'd like to see if I can get neck blanks from the same sources I'm getting the body blanks from, because maybe there's a chance that we can get stuff not from the same board. I don't really expect that, but you know what I'm saying? Something that looks kind of uniform, because that'd be nice. So yeah, that's cool. I would like to do more of that, and it's another one of those things where it's a good thing to do. It's like oatmeal, right? What if I made a guitar out of oatmeal? It would lower your cholesterol. Finland. This is like an international discussion today, and this is fun. I wish it was. I wish I had a better discussion for you, but I'm just yammering on about stuff that we did this week. See, Sean. So he's been sending links in the chat, some various stuff of examples of Guanacaste. I don't know. I don't know if I'm saying it right. I think I am, but I don't know. Yes, that's true. It is. And yeah. Brett, hello. So I'm kind of I'm kind of excited about that. And one of the people that were at NAMM in the Boutique Guitar Showcase was STS Guitars. And I had such a nice time chatting with them after the show was done. and they're very, very, very. Oh, Perfecto is messaging me. They're very, they work really hard on sustainable instruments and all of that. So, when I'm thinking of these things, I think of them, and I like them. So that's cool. No. Any experiments in that region? Yes. I was using Spanish cedar for a little while. There are a couple of there are a few guitars that I've made from it. I am incredibly allergic to it, and the cost on it has really kind of doubled, even when I was using it, years ago. And the stuff that I found, and it's interesting. I still have a neck blank of it, and it's like flamed at the side of my face. And like, I kind of want to use it, but like, I just don't want to. I don't want to, because I prefer to have my airways remain open. I prefer to not have that dust in my mouth. Even when wearing a mask, it just permeates, and I can't deal with it. When I remember, I bought a bunch of boards of it at this place that I can get stuff locally, and like long boards, in my car of 8/4, so 2 inches thick by 8 feet long, and instantaneous migraine. There are certain scents that will give me a headache immediately. And that is definitely one of them. And my buddy Doug Cower, from time to time, when he has sent me things in the mail, they might be packed in Spanish cedar sawdust. And he didn't know that I was incredibly allergic to the stuff. But I had to message him. I'm like, dude, I love a good gag, but like, I can't even open. Like, as soon as I stood near the box, a sealed box, I could smell it. And like, I had to get out whatever I had to get out, and I had to do it in the ground. Anyway, it's a whole thing. So also, some of the stuff that I of the wood, the lumber that I got, would have like gum streaks in it, spots in the tree where there was just sap and stuff like that. And I understand that there are ways around that, and but yeah, I don't ever want to work with Spanish cedar again, which is kind of too bad, because it is super lightweight. Super lightweight, looks like mahogany. It's sound wise, it's a little snappier. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, but it was one of those things that I was using for a while, but no more. When in doubt, just go with Perota. But is it Perota or Parada? It's probably Perota, because I would say like 2 T's would be like Parada. Anyway. Afternoon from Spain. Steve-O, this is, again, you guys, this is, so what? We've got Finland, we've got Spain, I think we got Sweden still, we've got Canada, we've got New Mexico. No, wait, it's the land of enchantment. We've got Australia. This is what an exciting time to be alive. Afternoon to Spain. I would like to visit Spain. It's true. I would like to. I want to go to Spain. I want to go to Portugal, and then I want to go back to France. I'd like to see the UK. I'd like to go to Ireland on a sunny day. I think I would like to go to Ireland. I think it would be a little difficult for me. And I know this is quite an Irish stereotype, but I think it would be difficult for me to not drink there, and that's not something that I really want to do. So, and there's Chris. I want to go back to bed. Right on. Yeah. So that's that's my thoughts on Spanish cedar. Uh, the vague gang signs, those are the ones that can either keep you out of or get you really in trouble. So you got to be careful with that. When did you get that Soldano? A couple months ago. It's awesome. I live on the red channel. It's an Astro 20, and I really like it. For a guy that isn't super crazy about amps, I've amassed a pretty good array of them. So yeah, now I just got to use them, right? The Cower is great. He is great. Chris, before you go back to bed, so Chris's Silver Sparkle 622 is on its way to him. And usually we string things up with 10 to 46. It's just because I don't even know that I really like 10 to 46, but like just kind of a standard kind of thing that we just use. Although I think most manufacturers put 9 to 42 on, and I understand why. Because lighter string gauge, when you're first playing something for the first time, it's not going to fight you as much. So it's a better playing experience. And so, we're kind of getting this, yes. We're getting the guitar together, and I'm like, well, okay, so probably put 10 to 46 on it, because that is generally what most people ask for. And Chris hit me with a curveball right in that ear. No, that's my ear. It's funny. I was going to go right in the neck, but then I'm like, ear sounds better, but I point. I'm doing great. And he laid some 8s on me, and I'm like, now, I used to play 8s when I was a teen, maybe like 17, 18 or so. And then I switched to 11s, tuned standard, because I'm a crazy person. But, so we strung Chris's guitar up with 8s. And I'm like, oh, like because I don't play every day, and I've got this little wonky thing that locks up on me, I can work it out, but like I don't really like 10s at all. I used to for many years just play 9 to 46, which is like half 9, half 10, and I think that's a good kind of thing, because I do like the lower side of 10s. But my man laid some 8s on me. And so I'm playing this thing, and it's not like, and maybe it would be the case if I played more. Because I remember when Catfish and I lived together, I used to practice he had a Washburn like jazz hollow body kind of thing that had like 11s or 12s or whatever on it, and like I used to just play that guitar all the time. And so when I would switch to something else, I'd be like, woo! But I wasn't having that experience, and I'm like, oh, these 8s, okay, maybe I should play 8s. Maybe I should play 8s. So Chris, thank you for that discovery. No, not at all. Because Adam and I were both like, Adam, that guy's got like murder mittens, and he's like, wah, 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 wah. I don't even know what that means, other than the fact that he picks really hard, and we just, he and I have very different playing styles. Like, he's really good, and I'm not. But he picks harder than I do, and he uses harder picks than I do, and so like if he's setting up something, and he can make anything buzz. And then I'm like, well, let me play it. And I'm like playing it like I normally would. Cause like he'll go out of his way to just kind of like, am I getting it? And, so then it'd be like, let me have it. And I'm like, oh yeah, no, we're good. And so when he was playing it, it's like, shit, maybe I should change. I don't know. I thought it was going to be like thread. But it's not. So I don't know. So yeah, murder mittens. Yeah, I saw that for, I don't know, somebody posted a picture of their cat and like, the big murder mittens. 20 years they sound tight. You can play louder. Yeah, see, you can play lighter. Did I say louder? I'm doing great. Yeah, and that works for me too. So I might go like, I think go half 8, half 10 would probably be ridiculous. But like if I go half 8, half 9, I don't know. I got an extra set. And then like Adam, because he's a sweetie, he bought me, I'm not going to show the brand because we don't have although you could just kind of see it. He bought me some strings that were like 9.5 to 46, and I've tried them before. But this is a little bit of a different string. It's like, so high E is 9.5, and then you got a 13, which is like a B string on a 10 gauge. But then the G string is a 16, which is like a G string on a set of 9 to 46, and then 26 wound, which is like a 10 gauge, 34, which is between 9 and 10, and then and 46. So, I've got a Stevie D signature sitting here in a corner that I'm just going to stick that on. Yeah. That's very sweet of you. The thing that I use, there's a counter up at the top, right up there. You can't see it, but I do see that it's gonna do that. But I appreciate the time check. And then also thanks to Catfish for turning me on to those, was it DJI microphone thing? But what do you mean he turned you on to them? You're clearly not using it. Well, that's true because I didn't buy one. But there are some, I've seen those in the wild. Super dope. And maybe I'll get one sometime. But yeah, they look good. And then J-Ship checking in. Morning, everybody. We're winding down, but that's okay. You can watch this again. Why would anybody do this? But I don't know. Maybe somebody finds some interest in this. If you haven't watched the new KDH video on YouTube, do it. He uploaded the interview we did at NAMM. Just when you thought you were done watching NAMM videos, and maybe you are done watching NAMM videos and you're not going to watch this, but if you enjoy Caffeinated Sully, staying on topic, you might enjoy this video. We had a really good time. Just kind of took him through all of the models, and yeah, and like I thought I sounded. Am I shouting? I thought I sounded crazier than I really did. So that's good. I was really happy that I didn't sound as crazy as I thought I did. Which end of the taco is the tastiest? I'm going to say the first bite is usually your best, because it's the beginning. We're going on this ride together. This is a new experience, even though what's coming. And then at the end, it's bittersweet. It's sweet, then bitter, yet sweet. Yeah. Anybody have any actual questions before? I mean, not that wasn't an actual question. It was a good question. It's a fun question. But yeah, watch that. I think, so it's, if you just search KDH, I think he titled it, the best NAMM interview ever, or best interview ever, or something like that. So we had an absolute blast. And I did, the his buddy Glenn, who was with him, we did a video. Was it last week, 2 weeks ago, where we were talking about the new Ace Frehley record, and Steve Brown, the producer, liked it, so I thought that was cool. Let's see. Oh, pretty rad that the youngest child on Last Man Standing, a show I watch a ton of, is a proud Sully player. Pretty awesome. Yeah, that started just because she was, God, I don't know, she was 7 or 8 years old, and her folks were friends, and we all. It was a thing where I met them. It was 4th of July, and Mrs. Sully and I had been dating a few months, and you're going to hang out with my girlfriend's friends, and usually that is never fun. That is never a good time. It was a great time. Had an absolute blast. And so little Caitlin was sitting next to me, and I'm like, you're gonna be real famous. I didn't say that out loud because that's a crazy thing to say to a 7 or an 8-year-old, but I'm like, yeah, you are. And then it was, Caitlin got a guitar, and she wants to learn how to play. And usually, again, I dread those sorts of, okay, oh, cool. Do you give lessons? No, I really don't. But it was, she got a guitar. She wants to learn how to play. I'm like, yeah, all right. So I gave her lessons, and we spent equal time working on learning how to play and the performance side of things. And they lived 10 minutes from us, and then eventually Caitlin started going out to California for pilot season and started booking stuff. And she's been working since she was, I guess, 10. Yeah, she's going to be in the season 2 of The Last of Us. I haven't watched the show, but it's a big deal. She was on a few seasons of Justified. She played Loretta, the teenage weed dealer. She's been in a bunch. She's been in an absolute ton of stuff. She was in Booksmart with Beanie Feldstein, which was really funny. Really funny movie. And she's been in various things for Netflix and Hulu, and the George Clooney and Julia Roberts Ticket to Paradise movie. She's in that. But we got to see one another, a couple weeks ago, and it was under terrible, terrible, terrible circumstances. But it's always wonderful to see her. She's a lovely person, and their whole family is great. So, yeah. So, and that 92, she has the first one. So I wanted to make her a guitar she wouldn't outgrow, and that was it. In the opening credits of Sully's Guitar Garage videos, you can see me giving her that guitar when she was about 14. So, yeah, that's it. I'm going to have some more coffee. I'd say you've had enough. Shut up. I hope you have a lovely day, and thanks for watching. And yeah.